the collaboration card that I had
Oh,
inverted.
the collaboration card that you had earlier.
I was like, am I difficulty working with others, a need to listen, selfishness, pushing your own agenda, not trusting your partner's ability, ego clash.
Okay, so can I tell you what I'm thinking about this? You had this in reverse, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, so the first thing I saw was I step into the vibration of conscious collaboration. So, in that, this is about conscious collaboration, not just collaboration, but being conscious about it. And
Hmm.
so that requires us to approach it with an understanding. What am I here to give? What am I here to receive? Oh shit, these cards are coming back. Right? What, you know what I mean? Like, how is
Uh-huh.
this going to give to the collective? Um, and like be in an awareness of your purpose, because that's part of the problem. I feel like sometimes we go into places and we don't know our purpose, and then
Hmm.
yeah, like it's just
And then
like
you're at the whim of somebody else's manifestation. It's
yeah.
like, are you going to create, are you going to actively create something that you want and desire? Or are you going to be at the whim of somebody else's wind coming through and sweeping you up?
So okay, so now I want to talk about something else. This is an awareness that I've had. So I have that quick guide of turning conflict to collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when we went to school and we had to collaborate on work projects, they screwed us because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't teach us how to collaborate. They just put us in groups of people and they
Mm-hmm.
said, you all figure out your roles and you all do this project. Sometimes they didn't even say you figure out your roles, right? They were just like, you guys are together, do this project. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't take into consideration that some people are natural leaders and will step up and tell everybody else what to do and not allow people to bring their gifts of maybe um logistics into the
Mm-hmm.
mix, right? Like somebody who is good with logistics might be very quiet for a long time and be thinking through all of the pieces, but by then the natural leader has stepped in and said, "This is what we're doing. This is how we're doing." It might not be the most efficient. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like to go into conscious collaboration, we need a couple of things. First thing is we need to be grounded in ourselves, right? We need
Mm-hmm.
to know our gifts, what we have to offer, be confident in that. Then we need to unify.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what is your gift? What is your gift? What is your gift? What are you here to bring? Right. So that's us
Mm-hmm.
unify and then unify over a value. When we decided to do this today, we were like, oh, okay, we're going to pull some cards. I'm going to pull a card. You're going to pull a card and we're going to talk about what's coming up for us. And we
Mm-hmm.
want to share that with the collective. That was our intention to
Mm-hmm.
be a beneficial presence, of encouragement. We talked about that when we were shuffling, all that. Okay. So we're unifying, then we actually have to collaborate, which requires everybody to have a voice
Mm-hmm.
and for that voice to be held with equal weight.
Mm-hmm.
So, conscious collaboration looks like that. It's not just, all right, we've got this task. What are we going to do? And somebody leads it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I do see something in here
okay.
that we talked about, how we have to be grounded and balanced within ourselves and then take that out into the world. I can see how someone within the unifying portion of this could be
Mhm.
like, I don't know what I bring.
Mm.
They might not have experienced themselves enough. They might not see themselves clearly. They could be in victim mindset. And so there's a space of like figuring yourself out before collaborating, and then
Mhm.
and
Yes. Yeah.
and then there's this space of being in community within the collaborate before the third step comes, to
Mhm.
have this agreements before agreements to hold each other safely, agreements to see each other clearly, agreements to be a mirror to another person who needs that mirror.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's what was
No,
coming
keep
up.
going. You had something else. No,
Well,
I
I was dealing with the part. I was like, you need to find out yourself before you go into collaboration.
yeah. So okay. So yes, that's the thing. And we can go in grounded and then get into the unifying space and see other people's gifts and be like, "Oh, I don't do what they do." We've gotten distracted. We need to go back to
Hmm.
grounding. Like it's a
And then even knowing that that is your tendency.
yeah. Yeah.
Like, what happens when I go into spaces like that? Do I tend to do X, Y, and Z? And then
Mhm,
setting an intention, because our intention is very powerful,
mhm, mhm,
of,
mhm.
okay, when I feel this, then I will do this. Yeah.
Yes. So you have to have a practice to keep you grounded.
Mm-hmm.
I can see how so many times in my life I have been in this position where I was high off of like being chosen for something and somebody saw me and I was so excited about it and like so in college I did this thing called Broadway Theater Project. Did I ever tell you about this?
I don't know.
Okay.
Tell me again.
So it was across the country and also in other countries. It was ran by Anne Ranking and she brought a bunch of theater kids together. You had to audition. Out of the people who auditioned at my college, I was one of two that got in.
Mm-hmm.
So high off of that, right? But still, that's competition mindset because I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
I got in and did it, right? And got there and was like, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Everybody else is da 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 da. And they're triple threats, right? Like you had to dance, you had to sing, you had to act to audition. I did I Get So Lonely by Janet Jackson as my dance. Anyway, but it was good too. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I feel like this is the story when the lady came in and was like, "Hey,
yeah,
how
yeah,
are you?"
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that was a moment I think the spirit actually gave me to pull me out of like, you don't belong here. And
Mm-hmm.
it
Wait,
was
can you
okay.
retell me that portion? I want to hear it.
Yeah, yeah. So the first night, I'm like, I'm not prepared. I'm not like, I don't belong here. Everybody else is like these super dancers. And like, I was looking at everybody else and not really thinking about my gift. And I will also say that I probably was like too excited about being chosen that maybe there was some more preparation I could have done to ground
Mm-hmm.
myself. So a practice of grounding in my gift before I left there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm crying, and my friend Darren comes to the room. I'm like, I don't belong here. I need to go home. And I don't remember what he said. I can't remember if it was the next day or what, but I'm in the dance class. And of course, Anne Ranking runs this whole thing. She played Grace in Annie, the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Big dancer. Gwen Verdon was there. Felicia Rashad. Just, I mean, Ben Vereen. Okay. So she walks in the room and everybody's excited because she's teaching this class. And she goes and parts the room and comes over and hugs me and is like, I'm so glad you're here. And I'm just like, right? And everybody's like, who's she? Who's she? Like, and to this day, I don't know if I don't know, right? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It doesn't matter though. It was a moment where spirit was like, you belong here.
Mm-hmm.
Belong here. I can't say that it absolutely pulled me out of what I was experiencing. But it helped me get along the path of you have gifts. You need to work on your gifts. This
Mm-hmm.
is a wonderful opportunity. You are here for a purpose and a reason, and that's it. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I see a pattern. I don't know if you want to talk about
Yes,
it
I
here,
do
but
see a pattern, ma'am. Yes, I do.
Did you catch it while you were telling
Oh,
that
I knew
story?
before. No, actually,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so we don't have to talk about the pattern.
You know, no, I mean, no, I have a pattern of, and I think it's around when you grow up in a world that doesn't always value the things that you are, it's easy to think that it's not enough. And I think
Mm-hmm.
everybody can relate to this because, um, yeah, like we tell kids, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're like, I want to be a ballerina, or I want to be this and that. And like I've heard people crush kids' dreams like from little, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so how often are, but not intentionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how often do we experience negative, input about who we are?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to do the personal work to
Mm-hmm.
ground ourselves, to build ourselves up, to tell everybody's insecure. It's like
Mm-hmm.
hurt people, right? And so we just put our insecurities out into the world and, you know, unbeknowingly, we're hurting one another.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important for us to recognize that one, that happens, and two, that we have to begin to take off all of the things that we have been told we are,
Mm-hmm.
um, and rediscover and remember who we are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thanks. Yeah. So, yeah, but definitely realized it was a pattern. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I ain't doing that shit no more. We're not doing that. We're not.
I was gonna tie it back to like if I know that I have a tendency to get chosen for something,
Mm-hmm.
and then immediately, well, once I'm there,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm, I'm not worthy to be here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, or whatever comes up,
Mm-hmm.
then I will do this X, Y, and Z. Like, you know,
Yeah, you
I
have to
was
have a
just tying
pattern.
it back to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that is why that journal came through, or it's like that was that practice. It's like, how can you
Mm-hmm.
awaken to the gift that is you? How can you make this
Mm-hmm.
a daily practice, a daily
Mm-hmm.
remembrance, a knowing? Um, and I think that you can experience a similar situation and create a practice, but that might be something you're always learning and
Yeah.
healing from, and
Yeah.
that's okay too. Like
Yes,
it's okay to
absolutely.
say, you know what, I've healed on this level, and now I'm experiencing the same lesson at a higher level. What do I get to see now from this perspective that I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
see at the perspective I was before?
Yeah.
So being patient with our healing.
Mm-hmm. I love that. We are cyclical beings.
Yeah,
So
this was fun.
it was fun. Thank you. Yay.